Hello, my name is Sean MacDougall, and this is my presentation on barriers to entry for Res Econ 202 price theory. Let's go. Now, barriers to entry is the economic term describing the existence of high startup cost or other obstacles that prevent new competitors from easily entering an industry. Now, these barriers to entry can show in a multitude of ways, such as patents and copyrights, expensive equipment, scarce natural resources, government legislation, and many other things. An easy way to envision and understand the concept of barriers to entry is if you decided you wanted to enter the airline industry, but your lack thereof in airplane was a barrier to enter the industry, considering it prevents you from operating an airline. Now, if you remember, perfectly competitive markets have ease of entry. Or in other words, there are no barriers to entry in perfectly competitive markets. This is known because there are two clear signs in the aspect of perfect competition, such as firms can easily enter and exit a market, and firms are always price takers in perfect competition. This shows a lack of the barriers to entry. Now, when these barriers do exist, however, firms are price setters. This term is opposed to being the price takers that firms are in perfect competition. Imperfect competition can arise from different types of barriers to entry, such as government barriers to entry or natural barriers to entry. Government barriers to entry can be copyrights and patents, government legislations, and even government granted monopolies. Natural barriers to entry are much more like brand recognition and customer loyalty. We can see several different types of imperfect competition markets arise, such as oligopolies, monopolies, duopolies, monopolistic competitors, and even natural monopolies. Monopolies that have such high returns to scale, it makes sense for them to be monopolies. Now, firms desire to push beyond barriers to entry in order to enter a market and secure market share. This enables them to gain long-term economic profit, something that's impossible in imperfect competition. And the best means and to shatter these barriers to entry will and always has been innovation. Innovation is what triumphs barriers to entry. If there's a patent that exists, try to discover a new way to tackle a product. If there are resources that you don't have, find alternative means to produce something. If there's government legislation, adapt to your situation, but innovation must be constant.